As a politician, as a well-known figure, what do you see your role as?
As a Sikh, I try to say that the Sikh response to violence against Sikhs because of anti-Muslim or Islamophobic sentiments is to say, listen, it's wrong whether I was a Muslim or a Sikh. Violence against any community just because of their identity is wrong, and we stand united in opposition to that type of violence. I also think that one of the solutions to the hate or the negative sentiments, most of those sentiments are fueled by ignorance, and ignorance breeds fear, and fear then breeds hatred. So one of the solutions is to literally replace that ignorance with knowledge, with the idea of explaining what these traditions are about. Knowledge then develops into understanding, and understanding develops into acceptance, and that's really where we need to move towards. As an elected official, it's my responsibility to really boldly denounce any sort of hate and to really boldly declare the unity and the acceptance that Canada stands for. And I really want to signify or highlight the difference between creating a tolerant society versus an accepting society. We don't want to just tolerate people. We want to accept their unique diversity, and in accepting and celebrating that, we actually are a richer society.
Were you surprised to see the backlash?
I'm surprised because I know Canada is a place that is kind of the jewel of the world when it comes to how you can develop a multicultural society, a pluralist society that actually works very well. We have a very dynamic society, very successful in a lot of ways. There's problems and we need to improve those, but by and large, we're a great example of how people can keep their cultural heritage and roots and identity and celebrate those differences, but at the same time be very, very cohesive as a society that works together, that's successful, that integrates, that creates great opportunities for people. So when we see the contrary, when we see people working against that principle, that ideal, it does hurt, and it's something that we don't expect all the time, but it's a reality. We still live in a society where there is discrimination, where there is racism, and xenophobia is something that's real. So it's important that we address them as soon as they happen, any of these incidents.
Does it bother you at all that when issues like this crop up, people come to you to ask you about it?
Yeah, I mean, I see what you mean, that just because I'm racialized or I have a certain identity, people think that I would be the person to talk about it. It's the responsibility for everyone to talk about it. I think it's very powerful coming from someone who doesn't have such a distinct identity. It's powerful coming from someone who isn't racialized, who will stand up and say, listen, we accept all the diversity in Canada. I think that's a powerful message. I understand though, because I actually experience it in my own life. So when I speak about Islamophobia, I'm not Muslim, but I experience Islamophobia, right? Right after 9/11, I mean, I've been called, to present day, Osama and bin Laden, and it's been yelled out at me and being called a terrorist. As a kid, I grew up with a lot of racism pre-9/11, and Windsor was a tough city where kids would just walk up to you and hit you for looking different and just kind of fight with you. I was a guy with long hair, brown skin, and a funny sounding first name. So as we know how kids are, that's 4 great reasons to pick on someone. Not good reasons, but that's how it works.